wanted to make a video just discussing, thinking out loud about the statement in the Chazal, Kol Yisrael Areivim Zelazeh. All Jews, all Israelites are guarantors, are co-signers, are responsible one for another. Incidentally, I remember we had a course in Holocaust history and philosophy in high school. And when asking the question of why did this happen, the rabbi brought up the question, and why were religious Jews also persecuted? And the answer is Kol Yisrael Areivim Zelazeh. So, the religious were punished for not trying to stop the irreligious. It would seem as what was being taught, and even among the religious, to ensure, we have shared responsibilities as a community. I remember the Maggid Shir wrote it in without nakudas, without any vowels. So I went to a co-ed high school, and there was one girl, she was Israeli, and she asked, "What is this Kol Yisrael Areivim Zelazeh?" She said, "What, all Jews are Arabs one to another?" But Areivim means that we're co-signers, we're guarantors, we have shared responsibilities. And this is a concept that we have in the Gemara, in the Talmud, of the shared responsibility of the Jewish community. We have to wonder, though, what extent does that take? There are some things that are kind of obvious and simple and peaceful. I remember this weekend I was at a grocery store in Easton, Pennsylvania. I officiated 2 weddings in the area that day, and in between I stopped at the grocery store, particularly grocery store chain that we don't have in our area, and they have food that you can't get in other places, maybe like some nice bags of salmon that are individually wrapped and it has a hechsher on it, things like this, some vegetarian foods and things like that. It's Wegmans is the name of the store. It's an enjoyable place to shop. They always make them very nice, very pretty, and they have certain selections that you can't get in other places. So I would like to shop there when I have the opportunity to go out to Pennsylvania. Excuse me. So I noticed they had over there a Passover display, and in the Passover display, most of the things were kosher for Passover. Manischewitz, whatever, not the Hamish Hasidic community might eat, but kosher for Passover for sure. And then interestingly, you had one shelf was all, and they put down paper, because it's kosher for Pesach, everything, and it was real chametz. I saw this in Richmond when I was Rav there, and I really had responsibility, and I wrote it in my shul bulletin, but that was in Kroger. And I saw something similar, that quite often their things, especially if they're Pas Yisrael, they have a good hechsher. The managers in the stores, they don't know Hebrew, they just see has some Hebrew writing on it, they assume must be for Pesach, and quite often it's like real chametz. So I'm very happy that the stores have this, but on the other hand, it's it doesn't belong in the Pesach section. So this is what, so this time, I realized, I have a certain responsibility, not in Easton. I don't even know if there is an Orthodox shul in Easton. I know in Bethlehem there's one, and I know there's one in Allentown, but whatever, that's neither here nor there. But funny because they were nice cakes with the Sachtus Hechsher, with the Summer Hechsher, but they were real chametz. And so I let him know, and he took care of it in a polite way, in a nice way. And so, who knows, maybe, someone might have bought this for their Pesach Seder, a Yid there who didn't know any better, and that I saved them from possibly eating chometz on Pesach. Even maybe, who knows if they would have eaten chometz other times at Pesach, but at least, this much less chametz, if it even helped one Jew. So even, I didn't know the person, nothing, but, there, I felt, because Kol Yisrael Areivim Zelazeh, I have an obligation. And that's, I think, a proper application of Kol Yisrael Areivim Zelazeh, a case like that. But what about some other cases? There was a video I made recently that made quite a storm about the story that took place in Boca Raton a few weeks ago. That there was an Orthodox synagogue, but it's a very big synagogue, serving almost like a JCC, and they invited a secular speaker who in his private life happened to be a pious Catholic. And but he was coming to present a secular program, and he describes his zeal for his faith as having missionary zeal. Now, for a lot of people, especially who were brought up like me at my age, were brought up with could be a singer and things, that word missionary is like a dog whistle. It's like it invokes a Pavlovian response of absolute hatred. And a few weeks ago, incidentally, I was at a college. They invited local clergy to come to discuss how they can serve the community and how the community can serve them in the local community college. And and I was the only Jewish presence there, but there was also what they call, a Christian group that call themselves Messianic Jewish, which is false advertising. But I'm always polite to everyone I meet, and I was schmoozing with their pastor who calls himself a rabbi. The only microaggression I might have addressed him with was I called him pastor instead of rabbi, but in a nice way, friendly way, with a smile, and genuinely so, because I don't have a problem with Christian pastors. Although I do have a problem with trying to sell Christianity as Judaism, and I would say it's just the same, like, someone could say, well, Muslims believe that Jesus was a prophet, and they're trying to sell Islam, but calling it, Christianity with, I don't know, Mohammedan Christianity or something, that they're trying to, Quranic Christianity or something like that, which it's not Christianity, it's Islam. They're two different religions, and they're separated, a few, centuries ago, more than, 1600 years ago is when they split, and they didn't actually split in the way that Judaism and Christianity split, because it developed somewhat independently, but with influence of Christianity and Islam. But how would a Christian feel if a Muslim was trying to, in order to influence Christians status, and that's a whole different can of worms. But so this particular friend of mine wants to say that there is such a thing as Jesus following Judaism, as long as it's people who want to follow halacha, want to keep the Torah, and which of course is problematic when you read the Pauline epistles as far as Christianity goes, so then it's no longer Christianity. It becomes, and so therefore, is it perhaps a form of Judaism? It's no less a form of Judaism than Reform Judaism is, but it's probably even more so in a way. But so then the question is, what is Reform Judaism a form of Judaism? And again, I don't want to get into politics right now. That's not my point. But it is kind of the point, is that this feeling of Kol Yisrael Areivim, is that like it doesn't say Kol Yisrael Bailam Zelizeh. We don't have Bailis. We don't have ownership on every Jew. We have Arvus. We're co-signers. So what does that really mean? Is that in a way we have to pay off the debts of the other Jews, meaning like Rabbi Chanan Wasserman, before he went off for his martyrdom in the Holocaust, together with his students, he told his students, he said, have pure thoughts, because God saw us as worthy sacrifices to atone for the sins of American Jewry. He had visited America, and he would have been able to save himself from the Holocaust, but if he couldn't bring all of his boys with him, he felt the captain has to go down with the ship. And so Rabbi Chanan, Zechusi again Leinu, he saw, my Rebbe, Rabbi Fishbane, when he was a little boy, he got a bracha from Rabbi Chanan, because Rabbi Chanan stayed in his home in Chicago when he was visiting America. But Rabbi Chanan said, that improper thoughts can disqualify sacrifices, and so we have to present ourselves as pure sacrifices to atone for the sins of American Jewry, which is a pretty powerful statement. So that's where he saw the arvus, was that we are paying, meaning our mitzvahs pay for the other Jews in a way. That's perhaps a way, but what is the extent of our requirement to rebuke? Where does that begin and end? So it's a modern shul, okay, modern Orthodox, it doesn't mean much. That's one thing that the Hungarian Hasidic community understands very well, is that a modern shul, there's no real difference between a lot of conservative shuls and a lot of modern Orthodox shuls. Alright, there are more frummer modern Orthodox shuls, and there are more liberal modern Orthodox shuls. Even some that are frummer are still Medana Shilin, a lot of it has to do with, how high is the mechitza, what's the rav, this and that. But there's a difference to do a Haimish Shil and to do a Medana Shil, and it's not the party lines that most American Jews understand of Orthodox, Reform, Conservative. And also, not every shul without a mechitza is treif, It's a Medana Shil, yeah. But it's not necessarily treif. It depends on the situation, depends on the hashkafa. I discussed this with a very major posek who was a Talmud of Satmar Rav, someone who was a Rav in our county, and if you ask him, he was Satmar Chasa, he said no such thing. Just Satmar was the name of the town where his Rosh Hashiva was the Rav, and that's it. Doesn't mean anything as far as it's not a group like that. That's a very interesting point that this particular Rav has brought out. But anyway, the out here is that I spoke with him about. He said, there's a difference between a shul that's called a temple and a shul that's called a synagogue. There's a difference between a place that has Orthodox hashkafa but maybe not Orthodox practice, and a place that has pure orthodoxy with orthopraxy, and also there are places that have orthopraxy that don't have orthodoxy, and also the question is, what are the goals there? Like, I mentioned to him, I said, what's the difference between, and this is something I remember learning in Jewish history class in high school, there were two different translations of the Chumash into German. There was the translation of Mendelssohn and the translation of Rav Hirsch. And the difference was that Mendelssohn was trying to make Chumash Yidden learn German. And and Rav Hirsch, that was Mendelssohn. And Rav Hirsch wanted the German Yidden to learn Chumash, So the same question, what's the goal of a shul? Is it to make Hamish, like the Forward was trying and still trying to turn Hamish people modern, or is it like some of the Jewish press, or trying to make the modern Jews a little bit more Hamish in a certain way? But slowly but surely you have to pick your battles. So we had this story in Boca Raton where this person, they said, he had missionary zeal. I said, he's a missionary. They thought he's like Jews for Jesus. No, he's a Catholic missionary. Catholic missionaries aren't specifically looking to convert Jews. And if they do, they are honest that they're selling Catholicism. They're not trying to sell Catholicism as Judaism. And it's not that really they're trying to convert Jews, but if a Jew wants to convert, they're not going to tell him no. Some people think, you should tell him no, don't convert. Why should he tell him no? Like, that's his religion he believes in. He should welcome anybody who wants to join, and we should, have enough, teaching our own religion to make it strong instead of, and then we won't see missionaries as a threat. We should really see a missionary as this is a person who loves you enough that he wants to share what he has. Okay, he's wrong according to our religion, according to how we understand things. He's wrong, but all right, so he's wrong. So we have to prove why we're right, But what are we hanging on? We're hanging on to shreds of secular Jews who they'd probably be better off converting to these other religions if they don't want to be frum. And they're not interested in we offer them Yiddishkeit, and they're not interested. It's much better for a lot of these people to convert to Christianity than to stay secular Jews. And we see what a destructive force the secular Jewish world is. They brought communism and all these horrible things that kill millions of people, and they're still doing it now. We see it here where I live, in upstate New York. You have these secular Jews who are fighting Torah, fighting religious freedom, fighting private property rights, yelling and screaming that making a synagogue is illegal, and all kinds of crazy, ridiculous things, shocking, disgusting things. And this is what the horror of the Erev people are. But that's a different story. But anyway, so this is the question of Kol Yisrael Areivim Zalazah. What is the extent of our responsibility? Meaning, this one, he went, first of all, the same rabbi who's protesting this invited this Mizrahi character. I don't even want to call him a rabbi. I don't know what his story is. He's a wilder mensch. He says wilde Sachen. He doesn't think before he talks. And he, I don't understand how he gets to go speak in all these shuls and everything. who invites this guy? Does he just show up? I don't understand. But he took missionaries to debate them, and I don't have a problem debating missionaries. But he basically invited a real, Jews for Jesus type missionary into a shul and said, "Try to convert my people. I'm going to debate you, and I'm going to show you how you're wrong." So he's a hypocrite for fighting against someone who's bringing in, and it's really a personal vendetta because this rabbi stood up against him, and that's why he made this whole thing. But and he said, "Oh, it's not me. It was someone else. I'd love to take the credit for it." We all know it's just a personal vendetta that he has against this local rav, who had the guts to stand up against him. And so then, but the thing is, it's like, all right, let's say you have an issue with this Rav. He's a Marda Asr, his own shul, he can make his own decisions. You have a problem, you talk to him, and he can think about it. But like he said, he invites all kinds of secular speakers all the time. He's not talking in front of the Sifrei Torah. He's talking in the social hall. It's more like a JCC. I mean, it also shows the racism because the same shul, they had a big dinner for the JNF. Where were all the protests from Mizrahi and all these guys over the JNF? The JNF is much more dangerous to the Jewish community than Catholicism. I see a lot more Jews converting to the Avodah Zarah of Zionism than to the Avodah Zarah of Catholicism. And a lot more Jews in my lifetime. No Jews have been killed in the name of Yashka, but thousands of Jews have been killed in the name of Zionism. 20,000 Jews have been killed since 1948. I mean, that's not my lifetime, but think of how many of all those Jews would still be alive today if not for the state of Israel, if they would have just accepted, peacefully and made a peaceful way, instead of insisting on a Jewish state, had a non-sectarian state, had a binational state, or whatever it is. Or if they would have if they want to live in Eretz Yisrael so much, so you have to be dhimmis, because if that's who's in charge at the time, right, the British were in charge. So the British really should have set up something, a non-sectarian, like America, type of situation, but instead they made a Jewish state and the Arab states, and what they should have done is, just been non-sectarian, but before that, under the Ottoman Empire, Jews, they wanted to live in Eretz Yisrael because they had religious devotion to the Holy Land. They lived there as dhimmis because, they understood you're taking a risk. It's not easy. It's Mesiras Nefesh. But Eretz Yisrael is Niknas B'Yisurim. That if you want Eretz Yisrael, you have to suffer to have Eretz Yisrael. That's what the Gemara says. It's not. But to be basically suicidal by setting up a state that they know is going to upset all of their neighbors and incite violence and incite terrorism, how can you do such a thing? And all the rabbis fought against this. In Hebron in 1929, when the Tzionim came, so then the Rabbanim said, "Get out of here, we live in peace with these people. Why are you trying to start wars? What are you doing? Why?" And look what they did. They incited the Arabs to kill the Jews, and then they go, the chutzpah, the Tzionim incited the Arabs to kill Jews and make a pogrom by making the Koisel into a political statement and corrupting the Kriya Shema. And this is their chief rabbi who said that. He corrupted the Kriya Shema, and then all the Rabbanim in Hebron said, "Please leave us alone. We want to live in peace with these people." And they had to go and incite a pogrom. And now they can go and say, "Oh, look, even before there was a state, we couldn't get along with them." That shows that it has nothing to do with Zionism because it was before there was a state. What are you talking about? Zionism started in the 1890s. It didn't start in 1948. Of course it was Zionism that incited, because before the 1890s in Eretz Yisrael, most Jews and most Arabs, for the most part, got along to the point where they were actually friendly. They used to in Ramadan, Jews would babysit Arab kids, and then Yom Kippur, Arabs would babysit Jewish kids. It was not. It was very. There was a lot of love and peace, And then what happened? They lost trust because of this movement, the nationalist movement. Instead of realizing we're in Galus, that God put us in Galus, and we're lucky if we get to live in Eretz Yisrael. It's such a blessing. Instead, they're like, no, it's ours. We got to take it, and we don't care if you don't like it. And they go and incite wars and terrorism. And how many Jews died in wars and terrorism since 1948, thanks to this movement, when they could have just worked out a peaceful way, or just got up and moved to America and lived and forget about. And part of the reason why they couldn't go to America was because the Zionim were pressuring all these countries, like the ship that came in, all the Zionist organizations were telling them, no, don't take them, they can only go to Eretz Yisrael. And so that's why America and all these countries refused to take Jewish refugees during the war, because of the pressure of the Zionim, who wanted the Jews to die. This way they could say after the war, look what we got, and look what we went through, and we deserve our state, and this and that. Half of a fella, I don't understand how. So anyway, that's not really the point of this video. But all right, now we live in a different age, and things are different, and so we have to learn how to get along with people. But this story, you were upset that the Rabbi Goldberg called Matt Kelly to come speak. So talk to Rabbi Goldberg, and he can make his own decision. He explained himself in a very rational way that his shul invites all kinds of speakers. So again, where's the protest when he invites secular Jewish speakers? It just shows that you're racist for Jews if you are upset that he invites a non-Jewish speaker, and not upset when he invites Jewish speakers who are apikoursim. It's a much bigger threat from heretical Jews than it is from any Gentile. Even even the biggest missionary is not as much of a threat as the secular heretical Jew. The Kedushas Yontiv, he said in his day in Hungary, they had two choices. Boys that went to yeshiva, but they had to go part-time to English, and they couldn't not English, Hungarian secular studies, and they had two choices. They could go either the neologan, the Chassidim didn't have their own programs, or they were forced by the government to have the programs, so they could learn Hungarian and so forth, so they were forced to go to the program. So they had two choices. They could go the neologan, who were Orthodox or Orthoprax, at least. I don't know if they were Orthodox, but they were Orthoprax. The Hungarian neologan, that was the Hungarian equivalent to Reform, but in practice, they were more like the modern Orthodox. And the neologan had their schools, which had the full secular education, or they could go to the public school. But they had to pick one, and they didn't have the resources to make their own programs in the yeshivas, in the Hamish yeshivas. And so the Signer Rav, the Kedushas Yontiv, said it's better to go. So the mayor said, which are you going to pick? And he said, they should go to the public schools. And they said, but if they go to the public schools, they can't wear the yarmulkes. But if they go to the neolog school, they can sit with the yarmulke. And so the Kedushas Yontiv said like this: it's better they should sit with no yarmulkes in the public school than to sit with the yarmulke in the neolog school. We're talking about Hamish boys who come from a Hamish background. We're not talking about people who are already modern, this and that. Probably for some of the modern, it's better they go, you have to have seichel, like Satmarov, it's very well known he opposed wearing a sheitel. But when he was the Rav in Satmar, when he was in the Hasidic school, he would talk about what a big sin it was to wear a wig, to wear a sheitel. Because the women there were wearing sheitlach, and he wanted them to wear tichlach. But when he went to Ashkenaz shul, he said, what a mitzvah it is to wear sheitel. Why? Because those women were going with the Eigen Ahur, they were not covering their hair at all. So again, you have to have some common sense. Who are you talking to? What, where, when? If you're talking to modern people, you have to approach them in the modern way. If you're talking to, I saw something very interesting, because I saw a video recently. There was, a rabbi in Exville giving a drush, and he said, Lubavitcher Rebbe, everyone says Lubavitcher Rebbe says it's better to wear sheitel than to wear tichel because it covers all the hair. And the thing is that if you look what the Lubavitcher Rebbe actually wrote in the 50s, he said, if you're going to an event and Eisenhower is there, the president, you're going to be worried, you're going to be embarrassed, and you'll take off your tichel, but you're not going to be embarrassed and take off your sheitel. So meaning he's talking about people who they're not comfortable covering their hair. He was talking in the 50s, not talking these days when we have, the Muslims are not ashamed to wear the hijab. The Sikh men are not ashamed to have a beard and to wear a turban. Why should we be ashamed of who we are? So, a friend of mine who's very modern Orthodox, he said that a woman shaved like a man wearing a baseball cap. And there are times to wear a baseball cap, I understand. But you have to understand what, where, and when, So anyway, if you have a problem with what Rabbi Goldberg is doing, so you talk to him, and you have your own community, your own shul, let them know, all right, this is not ours, this is a modern shield, this is a modern place, this is not a Haimish shield. So you don't go to the shul because it's modern, it's not for our community, meaning, like, Baron Teitelbaum, one time he said, still plötzlich wie a Heimisch Yid darf nicht gehen, wie Inser Yid darf nicht gehen. He didn't say this is for everybody. He didn't say it's just in a favor to go to the Siyam Shas, but he said for his community, but it's a pasnish, that's all. He said you don't need to make the big, there's this big, big event about the internet some years ago, and Baron, the Lakewood, they were pushing Baron to come. Zamalek came to Baron, and Baron said it has nothing to do with him. Like, Motzei Shabbos, he can say a few words, but by Shalashidus, he can say a few words. It's like a name. What's that? A Ryan Kriechen and go to Shea Stadium or whatever they call it now. Alright, for some people they need the chizik, some people don't, some people it's enough. Each community has its own thing, and there's this idea that, we have to have a certain bias in all Kol Yisrael. We don't have bias on anybody, the same thing people think with Gerim, everybody's looking over their shoulder of every gear. What is she wearing? What is he eating? What is this? What is that? It's none of your business. If they were Megayah Halacha, they're eating just like any other Yid. And if they do an Aveira, they do an Aveira just like any other Yid. They have to do Tshuva like any other Yid, and it's none of your business. It doesn't make them most Yidden. There's no such thing. So anyway, and even, it's very Choisel Siroi is a Blabdech Yid. I don't understand where this whole idea came from. It's interesting because Rabbi Goren made it Lakula because he wanted to be Matir and Mamzer, but because the Rabbanut made this Lakula, Goren's Kula became a Chumrah. But again, each community, they have their own Rabbanim, they have their own Dasar video, Meir Kahana was speaking in YU, and he said, what if he said, we don't have a Sanhedrin Bisman Hazeh. Right. But anyway, just let me finish the story with Goldberg. With Goldberg, alright, so with Rabbi Harav Goldberg, you're upset at him, so you talk to him. And if you don't get anywhere with him, you tell your own community, this is not for us, don't go. If you disagree, maybe don't go to this shul. We have our own shul, go to our shul, don't go to this shul. And if the people want to listen, they listen, not Khan, and that's it. Finished. You know? But the thing is like, you know, they started threatening this Mr. Kelly. What does he have to do with it? And the lashonis they use, and this is also a Zionism put into people, the arrogance that Zionism put into the Jewish mentality, that they could think they could talk to a goy like that. We're in Golis, you can't talk to a goy like that. We have to be humble before they're nice enough to let us live here and live as heathen. And Baruch Hashem, we have, you know, so much freedom in this country. And this is what you're going to say. You're going to call someone a bozo and an idolater and this and that. This is not his business. He's not coming to read with the rabbi. He's not talking about religion. He's not even, you know. I mean, even Lo Yitzur, he wanted to tell a story about Yoshko, about Paul, or something that's not Christological. It just was to teach a lesson, because that's a story he knows, and there's nothing wrong with the story or with the lesson. Even that he agreed not to do, even though really I don't see a problem with that personally. But, you know, because that's where he's coming from, that's his culture, you know, that's where he's talking from. But this is like, I don't understand. What a chutzpah that it says Kol Yisrael Areivim, the harvest ends by the Kol Yisrael. They'll go and call a Nochri and tell him this, that he's a bozo. We have to have respect. One time, Sabarov was walking in the street, and Rabbi Yosef Ashkenazi asked a person walking the street, step aside, let the Rebbe through. And the Rebbe got angry at Rabbi Yosef. He said, what are you talking about? This is Zangas. It's his street. It's not my street. I don't have any rights here. I'm only here because they're nice enough to let me live here. And I'm thankful to them. You can't tell him to move. I gotta move for him. And that's what we have to understand. Is that we're guests here. We're in Golos. You know, and you know, and this, like we said yesterday, you know, because they want to sit in the UN with the other fools, you know, and they become big Bali Gaiva because they have a seat in the UN, you know. Anyway, I was saying, each community, they have their own Rabbonim, and that's the way. We don't have a Sanhedrin Bisman Hazeh, you know, just like, you know, you can't say, you know, you have different minhagim on Pesach, and some poskim understand it to even have a koyach of halacha, and some say it's just, the whole thing is narish, and they're different opinions. Everybody has their own opinion when it comes to Pesach, and you know, how do we deal with Pesach? You know, nobody says, you know, oh, because you do like this and you do like that, oh, I have to be moicha you. You know, everyone has their own rabbanim, their own ways. You know, I remember Rabbi Leff said, you know, he saw a fist fight break out over whether or not to say halal on Hey Ear. And he said, but he said he never saw a fist fight break out on whether or not to say halal in shul with the brach on the night of Pesach, on the Seder night. You know? I mean, you know, some people do and some people don't. That's all. They're different minhagim. All right, I understand that there's much more issues here with Hey Ear. Definitely against the whole Hey Ear question, but there are different approaches. You know, and everybody follows their own way. There was one younger man. They asked him, what does he do? He says he does whatever the minhag malka wherever he is. If he's in a shul where they say, he says it. If he's in a shul where they don't, he doesn't, and that's it. And he's a singer, a very famous, popular person, though a very controversial person. I'm not going to mention. But there's a certain seichel in that, and if you don't want to say halal here, and there's only one shul in town, so daven at home. You don't have to go to minyan that day. I give, anybody who lives in a community that there's only one shul and they say halal on Hayir, and you don't want to say halal on Hayir, and you're right not to say halal on Hayir, so don't go to shul that day. Daven at home. I give you my heter to daven at home that day, or to leave early, leave after kedusha or whatever. Hopefully they have a minyan without you, and and if they don't have a minyan, they could stop saying halal, but let's say. When you're dealing with a community that has exactly 10 people, you have to accommodate certain things, But anyway, that's in our shul, even though we have in Nusach Sfard, we always had tekiyas like Ashkenaz, even though a lot of Ashkenaz also do like Sfard, but had the tekiyas, not during the silent Shemon Esrei, only during the loud Shemon Esrei, and then the extra tekiyas at the end by the Kaddish. And this year, half of our minyan were Chassidish, and they wanted to do it this way, and I was very happy. And they changed it because we understood this is what we need to do to have our minyan, and we're very happy. And I was very happy, but but other years I didn't fight it because it's not a big deal. It's 1 year 100 tekiyas. It doesn't matter which way you do it. I personally like it better than the silent Shemon Esrei but some people find it's confusing. I find it very inspiring. But again, everybody has their own derech. And I used to go to other shuls. I wouldn't daven in yeshiva because I wanted to hear the tekiyas by still Shemon Esrei, whatever. But everybody has their own derech, So a video from Meir Kahana. He was speaking at YU, and he said, people asked him, different gedolim, they disagree with you, and he said, that's fine. That's how it's supposed to be. We don't have a Sanhedrin bisman hazeh. And he was smart enough to understand that, and that the Rabbanut is not a Sanhedrin, and these guys calling themselves a Sanhedrin, and it's not a Sanhedrin. But we don't have a Sanhedrin bisman hazeh. Every community has their own Rabbanim, and they follow their own Rabbanim, and that's it. And he said, even if we saw all of the Kol Yisrael had one opinion on something, all the Gedolei Yisrael had one opinion, and then let's say, just as an example, he said the Belzer Rav had a different opinion, who do you think the Belzer Chassidim would follow? He said, I'll give you two guesses, and he said, and they would be right, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to follow your own rabbis, and that's how Torah works, And so if you are a part of a modern Orthodox community, you follow your modern Orthodox rabbi. If you're part of a literature community, you follow your literature rabbi. You're from Chabad, you follow your Chabad rabbi. You're from the Yekish, you follow the Yekish rabbi. You're Sephardi, you follow the Sephardi rabbi. You're Chassidish, you follow the Chassidish rabbi. And you're your own rabbi, and that's the way it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to fish around for different rabbis. You're supposed to try to be as consistent as possible, but there is room, to say, for this, but it has to be done with seichel and with. But anyway, this is 45 minutes already. I originally intend only to be like a 5-minute speech, but it's the same thing. I mean, I don't know. I saw a poster up, a different rabban. I'm not going to mention who, what, where. They're protesting because a bunch of very choshev rabbanim, and I have nothing personally against them. I know them personally. I understand where they're coming from, but they're coming and they're being moicha. They're being moicha. A particular Rav is sitting shiver over his mother, and the prime minister of the country he happens to live in came to visit him, and the guy, prime minister, happens to be Jewish, and he's not so frum, and whatever, and this rabbi who's sitting shiva for his mother, he has a big following. in even all over the world, this rabbi, and what do you call it? And he said some nice words to the prime minister who came to visit him. He gave him some chizik, and he said, and the prime minister mentioned something how he learns Chumash every week, and that's where he has his emunah from, and things like this. And the Rabbanim said, you're being mechazik him in Hiskaras B'umos. This story with Kelly was definitely Hiskaras B'umos, but and the thing is, I don't know now if with the new president if it's really Hiskaras B'umos and all these things, but it's interesting which Rabbanim did not sign it. Some did and some didn't. And I was surprised by the ones who did. But again, it was a private thing. It was a poster they put up only in Hebrew, and they didn't make a big deal about it. Someone was asking, maybe we should. And there was, a group that I'm on Twitter, and they were discussing this question. Should we be mefarsim this? Should we translate to English? Should we publicize this? That the Rabbanim were standing up against. Here's even he's a Chassidish Rebbe with a big following, and we don't let him do whatever he wants. I said, first of all, does anybody even know what went on? Did anybody care? And also, how is it different than when the big Rebbes in New York, and the governor of New York comes to be Menachem Avel. It's really or the senator, the governor comes to Menachem Avel. It's no different, So I don't know. It's it definitely they shouldn't publicize it. I think what the Rabbanim did is for their own community, but there's no reason to something like this, bring it more attention than it deserves, and it's a lot of issues with this. So whatever. It's an interesting question, but it also begs this question of how far does Kol Yisrael Areivim zealous. I think making this Kol Koreh is enough, and everybody knows that they're two separate communities, and that they don't have very much to do with each other. I think part of it had to do with another rabbi happens to be his brother-in-law is trying to make peace with him over the past few years and things like that. And again, there might be political motives and things in this. I don't know, but it's if it's just a Kol Koreh, I don't see the harm in it. So going to be mefarsim it's taking it too far, and also it shows disrespect to Rav, because the Maisa Akantin was a vil. He's a Rebbe for Zichalain. He has a big kahila. He can do what he wants, and it's really not our business to insult him or to really even try to influence him to change. Our real issue is just to make it. And are you going to say Kol Yisrael Areivim zelazeh? There's a limit. No, Kol Yisrael Areivim zelazeh. It doesn't mean to go and insult a big Rav, a big Rebbe who has a lot of followers. Even though you disagree, so you have your own Rebbe, you go to your Rebbe. You shouldn't talk negatively. You shouldn't say lashon hara. Could be moiche. You can explain why choilik, and that's it. And explain why we have a difference of opinion, and make it clear, and make your opinion clear, and he can make his opinion clear. I see. He was saying shiva, to have a little bisor achmanis, even was even thinking, so clearly, he just lost his mother. I would have a little achmanis on him anyway. But people gotta calm down a little bit. I don't know. So and everybody has their own derech, and everyone has their own rav, and so you follow your own rabbanim and this and that. So whatever. That's basically my rant over here, and So I think to summarize everything we're discussing is that there is limits to Kol Yisrael Areivim Zelazeh. We don't, and for sure we don't have bias in everybody. You don't even have bias. On your own community. We don't have. It's not Kol Yisrael Bailam Zelazeh. We don't have bias. We don't have ownership. We have Arvis, and that Arvis is extremely, extremely limited. Don't go crazy. Don't lose your head, and don't just be normal. All right. Well, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'd love to hear some comments. And I know I probably upset everybody today. So, all right. Thank you for watching, and God bless.